I met Amy, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I guess, when I went to the Junction as interim chief executive.
And at the time when she came in, I was theatre manager, and she kind of very, very quickly sort of pointed me out as somebody who could be taking on more and who had kind of a good grasp and understanding of how these sorts of organisations work.
Amy had a very important role in devising the future and then, more importantly, leading the process of change, because I was only there for a short time. She was there for the long term.
I really felt that she kind of brought me on in the 6 months she was here. She really sort of picked me up out of the whole duty management and the detail and put me on a path to kind of the bigger picture. After she left, it was probably about a year later, actually 18 months later, I'd been on the Claw Leadership course. I remember her sending me an email just after she'd been on the Claw Short course, and she was absolutely enthused by all these wonderful new ideas and things, and that was really good to hear from her. And one of the biggest things to come out of that for me was about asking for help, asking for advice, asking for guidance when you get a bit lost, and that finding a mentor is the best way to do that. And
then I sort of said to her, what do you want? What do you mean by a mentor? And she said, well, I need somebody to talk to. Basically, when it's good to have somebody outside of the organisation, somebody who isn't your boss or a member of the team with you, who you can go and bounce ideas off. So I basically said, I'd love to meet up with her again. It's not a particularly formal mentoring relationship. I mean, I know a lot of people have these sort of, they see their mentor every 3 months and it's very structured. Caroline is obviously a very, very busy woman, and as am I. By and large, what happens is she drops me an email or she rings up and says, I've got something I want to talk through with you. The way it has been most effective is that when I've had things that I really can't get my head around, I really need a more experienced perspective on, and someone who might just get me to kind of see things from the other side. It's an email or a phone call to Caroline, you know, and it's usually when I'm at a point of, what do I do about this? I'm stuck. Quite often I say, well, you know, we'll meet, let's fix a time and then we can meet, and that's great, but before you come meet me, outline to me the background and the issue that you particularly want me to talk about. So I've got time to think about it before we actually meet. She kind of comes back with very clear, very concise, you know, well, this is what I would do in your position, what are you going to do? And I think it's quite a challenging relationship, because she will always ask questions that don't necessarily make it easy for me to make the right decision. You know, she asks sort of challenging questions about, well, what am I doing next, and what's my next plan, and where's my career going? And so sometimes when I'm sitting here and I'm very much in the now, she makes me kind of look at the long-term perspective rather than the short-term gains. She's very good for me, because in my world I keep moving on and so on, but actually it's very easy to fall back on this is the way I've done it. Works. What I do works, so I'll go and do more of it. You know, she stops me getting stuck in my ways in a way, because she goes, well, why did you do it that way? We're exchanging ideas, and that's really good for me. It's a really great way to do a little bit of sort of professional development without having to spend, you know, however much money on going on a course. You know, you get so much more out of it.